All right, let's get to wiring this. All right, I'm going to temporarily remove the washer tank. I haven't decided if I'm going to reuse this or not. Here's the harness. Set that off to the side right now. I think our ECU is going to mount right here. Let's do that. Now, funny enough, these are number 12 by 1 roofing screws, and they're self-drilling. Is it a little redneck? Maybe. But on the plus side, they're designed for inclement weather, and they also have little rubber gaskets. So let's get this. That feels like a pretty good spot. Looks like they're not quite long enough. We're going to switch to a number 12 by 1.25 inch for mounting the ECU. Nice. It actually seems like a pretty good spot for it. It's out of the way. It's not going to hurt anything. It also shouldn't get hurt by anything. Okay, so the next thing is we have some fuses. We have this part of the wiring loom here. And I believe we have battery, hot all the time. We have ground, and both of these have to go to the battery. We have fuel pump, which we're not going to be using, at least yet. And then we have ignition. I have a plan for this wire. We're just not going to do that this second. So let's set these kind of over here, because they're actually going to route this way and go across the front to the battery. So next thing, everything here, we got fuse 1, fuse 2. Those can mount here. Main relay 1 and main relay 2, I think they also need to mount right here as well. Here's our CAN cable, additional wires, and everything else down here is going to go to the engine itself. Here we have the additional wires, and we have the CAN bus cable. So what I want to do here is I just kind of want to get both of these and secured away from the cam gear. Now everyone's application is going to be a little bit different. I'm not going to lie, mine seems to be pretty dang simple for a 70s car. Except for the vacuum lines. Man, there's vacuum lines absolutely everywhere in here. Okay, so that's our additional wires. These are like evap lines or something that go to a charcoal canister filter and then back in the intake. Always clip your zip ties. Looks nicer that way. Now we're going to work down this. VR, we're not going to use. This is a coil control, not using that either. The next thing we have is our throttle. Where'd it go? Okay, right here. Okay, to throttle body. Okay, that's in there. Okay, next thing we're looking at, the shiny one. This is the O2 wideband. Oh, we're just gonna drop that down below for now. because we're not quite ready for it. Next in line, we got fuel. And if you remember, we put our fuel thing right here. So, bumps over there. Fuel's in. And this next long one, CTS, coolant temp sensor. Coolant's hooked up. Now our coil is right here, and we're going to use this old school boost timing master. Let me pop in the cab and show you. Don't mind the mess, I'm getting rid of a bunch of stuff in here. But this right here, this is a boost retard. So what it will do is it will retard the timing by 0, 1, 2, or 3 degrees per pound of boost. And honestly, being that this car was boosted at one time, I'd rather leave that ignition alone because I know it's going to work. I think. For reasons. And I actually suppose since I'm inside, I'm going to run this CAN bus cable up to the firewall for where I pulled out the gritty stuff. And poking right through here, this is our CAN bus cable. This is to run the handheld. Now, I ordered something else for this. I actually ordered a Y splitter, and that way I can hook in the CAN bus cable that goes to the laptop and leave the handheld plug in at the same time. I'm surprised Aces doesn't seem to, like, I don't know, offer that out of the gate. Which is kind of too bad, but I've been told that the Holly one works for it. So we're just gonna do that. I got all this wiring stuff laid out. It may look scary, it's not. We actually don't have a whole lot of wiring to do. Now the main harness is plugged in to almost everything on the engine. We're gonna run these 3 wires. This is battery positive, battery negative, and the fuel pump wire. We're gonna bring those around here and over to the battery. They aren't quite long enough to reach, so we're gonna splice into them.
Well, do you want anything?
I love you. Say hi.
Hi! Do you want anything?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
So I'm going to show you this once on this first ground. Now, I am not an electrician, so take everything with a grain of salt. But this right here, this is a solder and seal connector. And we're going to start with this battery ground. We'll slide this over, and we'll put these together. I like to do it this way. I like to get the wires kind of intermeshed a little bit. You can kind of see. Then we're going to slide this over. I'd zoom in. We're going to keep these together. I'm going to take this little heat gun, and this generates enough heat that it will melt this solder and seal the connector. Once you get it sealed good, then you need to melt the solder. Okay, I'm going to let this cool down, and we'll make the next one. Now that these have cooled down, I'm going to wrap these connectors with a little electrical tape. Now, starting at the Aces harness, we're going to loom it up all the way at the battery. Now, before I forget and I get too far, I'm going to run this yellow wire up through the same loom I'm building. This is going to supply power to this relay that we're going to run for the key-on ignition. I hope I don't have to cut all this, so I'm just going to try to route this back through, and I'll leave it long and continue as business as usual. Okay, we got our ground wire over here. We have our, this is going to be just 12 volts to over in the corner. Then here's our main ECU wire. So we'll get these trimmed up and hooked up. Now the next part we need to wire up is this key-on ignition wire. I don't feel like digging through the wiring inside the car because it's honestly a nightmare. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the key-on side of the coil to turn on a relay to send uninterrupted 12 volts on to the ECU. Okay, I have these wires here just kind of loosely. They are hooked up. We're going to get inside the car, turn the key on, and see if the ECU comes on. Okay, you are here with me now. We are going to see if the ECU fires up. Kind of awkwardly have my camera on me, so let's go a key on. Oh, look at that. Okay, so we need to select the Deuces Wild. And we're going to say, do not show this again next startup. Okay, look at that. So our O2 sensor is not plugged in, so we shouldn't have any issues there. 70 degrees. Wow, look at that. Map 13.3. All right, everything is looking good here. So, all we need to do now is, well, as far as everything I can do, it all looks good. As soon as I get my exhaust manifold, should be today, we'll get that in. We'll get the wideband O2 in, and we're going to attempt to start this thing. So it's finally here. Let's get it installed. Well, bad news. It doesn't fit. It's, you can't tell from here, but it's hitting the steering. All right, so I need to cut the bottom of these four and tilt that flange more this way. I need to come down here and cut this and tilt this more up. And try again. It is 1:30 in the morning. I have one more thing to hook up, and then we can test fire. Of this entire loose wire harness, I have one wire to hook up, and it is the tack negative, and it's going to hook to this white wire right here, coming off the boost timing master. So I'm going to get that done, and we'll see if she runs. Okay, everything's hooked up. If it runs, tomorrow we'll loom all this wiring up. I'm gonna go jump in and let's see. All right, I am nervous as hell. We got her in neutral. Fuel primed. Okay, well, fired for a second. That's good. Okay. what's going on there. Let's double check a couple things. What's wild is it is so much more responsive to throttle. Okay. Boost vac. Where it was just at. Just going to give it a little bit of throttle. Yeah, I might just have to screw with this tomorrow, but at least it's firing up for a second.